Verse 3, For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? This is not the objection of a Jew, but, as it might readily occur, is supposed by the apostle. It is not but what, as Dr. McKnight translates the first words. It is for what. The apostle answers the objection in stating it. For what if some have not believed? That is, the unbelief of some is no objection to my doctrine. Will their unbelief destroy the faithfulness of God? This repels and does not, as Dr. McKnight understands it, assert the supposition. The meaning is that the unbelief of the Jews did not make void God's faithfulness with respect to the covenant with Abraham. Though the mass of his descendants were unbelievers at this time, yet many of them, both then, as the apostle asserts, chapter 11, verse 2, and at all other times, were saved in virtue of that covenant. Paul then here anticipates and meets an objection which might be urged against his assertion of the preeminence of the Jews over the Gentiles, testified by the fact that to them God had confided his oracles. The objection is this, that since they had not believed in the Messiah, whom these oracles promised, this advantage must not only be reckoned of little value, but, on the contrary, prejudicial. In reply to this objection, the apostle in the first place intimates that their unbelief had not been universal, which is tacitly understood in his only attributing unbelief to some. For when it is said that some have not believed, it is plainly intimated that some have believed. It does not, indeed, appear that it would have been worthy of the divine wisdom to have given to one nation, in preference to all others, so excellent and glorious an economy as that of the Old Testament, to have chosen them above all others of his free love and good pleasure, and to have revealed to them the mysteries respecting the Messiah, while, at the same time, none of them should have responded to all this by a true faith. There is too much glory and too much majesty in the person of Jesus Christ and in his work of redemption to allow it to be supposed that he should be revealed only externally by the word, without profit to some. Isaiah 55:10 and 11. In all ages, before as well as since the coming of the Messiah, although in a different measure, the gospel has been the ministration of the Spirit. It was fitting, then, that the ancient promises, which were in substance the gospel, should be accompanied with a measure of that divine Spirit who imprints them in the hearts of men, and that, as the Spirit was to be poured out on all flesh, the nation of the Jews should not be absolutely deprived of this blessing. This was the first answer, namely, that unbelief had not been so general, but that many had profited by the divine oracles, and consequently, in respect to them at least, the advantage to the Jews had been great. But the apostle goes farther, for in the second place he admits that many had fallen in incredulity, but denies that their incredulity impeached the faithfulness of God. Here it may be asked whether the apostle refers to the Jews under the legal economy who did not believe the Scriptures, or to those only who, at the appearing of the Messiah, rejected the gospel. The reference, it may be answered, is both to the one and the other. But it may be said, how could unbelief respecting these oracles be ascribed to the Jews when they had only rejected the person of Jesus Christ? For they did not doubt the truth of the oracles. On the contrary, they expected with confidence their accomplishment. They only denied that Jesus was the predicted Messiah. It is replied that to reject as they did the person of Jesus Christ was the same as if they had formally rejected the oracles themselves, since all that was contained in them could only unite and be accomplished in his person. The Jews, therefore, in reality rejected the oracles, and so much the more was their guilt aggravated, inasmuch as it was their prejudices and their carnal and unauthorized anticipations of a temporal Messiah which caused their rejection of Jesus Christ.